Massive day for the unemployed. The United States has invaded Iran and it doesn't look good for the Iranian president.
The United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
Today, two delegates will talk about the current situation and how this conflict can be solved. What is up, dictators and child molesters? Adrian, 6'5", Venezuelan trillionaire here, and today we are talking about the war in Iran. Hello everyone, I'm Adrian. I'm speaking on the behalf of the US government.
And I'm Dragos, and I'm going to speak on the behalf of the Iranian government.
So let's talk about why the US invaded Iran and the whole context behind of this.
Let's do it.
As you know, the US and Iran has a history of conflict that spans even in the Cold War. There is this
Exactly.
threat that Iran wants to make nukes and wants to use them on their neighbors. And the US sees this as a threat, especially with Israel, the genocide that's going on, right? And Iran supporting Hamas terrorists. The US feels like this is its responsibility to intervene and put an end to this.
First of all, you said that Iran produces nukes to invade its neighbors, right?
Yeah.
But this is not true, because our neighbors, as you named them, Israel, has had a history of invading its neighboring countries. And we started this advanced project in order to defend our borders and integrity. And we are supporting fighting groups that try to liberate themselves from foreign occupation. And we share the same religion, the same values, the same cultural traditions and everything. And we'll try to support our friends.
So part of the things you said are not really that true. First of all, Israel is the best country in the world. They have never committed any war crimes whatsoever. They have not committed genocide in Gaza. And they are definitely not involved in the US invasion of Iran, okay? So this is just fake information.
No, I believe that Israel caused almost all the conflicts in the Middle East. And it just destroys governments and replaces them.
You are definitely getting in the Epstein Island as a victim.
And we have to defend our borders and our values, as I said before, because you're going to get assimilated and replaced.
Yeah, so this is about the political situation, but let's talk about the current protests that are going on in Iran and how Iran closed its internet so that the people can't post things on social media, and also journalists couldn't access Iran to see what was actually happening. So that's why many people were happy that the US invaded Iran, and will probably be happier with a newer regime that is more democratic than the current one.
Well, we closed the internet and every social app because of the US funding of different rebel groups that are going to attack the government and destroy what we have built over the last 50 years. And supporting different groups, terrorist groups inside our country, and involving different personalities like the family of the former monarch, which was living outside the country for many years, but right now just decided to make a comeback. And this is a measure to secure our borders and solve our problems internally without foreign intervention that will probably destroy our country and start a revolution or a war. And also, in our country, the United States, there has been a problem for the last half year because the Border Patrol, nowadays called ICE, has been doing a lot of crimes against its own citizens, but against foreign ones that are trying to immigrate in that country and start a better life. And the US has started as a colony where people came to start a new life and promote some new values. And I believe that it's wrong to execute them, to mock them, to imprison them, to separate families, to even kill children, unarmed citizens, and all of that. and have abusive agents that can search from house to house, like the Gestapo did in the World War II. You know, a problem involving races because many citizens of the United States have been supporting these groups of like Asians, Mexicans, South Americans, because in some cases ICE like ignore the immigrants that are like white, look European, but have been constantly even attacking US citizens that are Hispanic, Mexican, and all of that, even though they are citizens with full rights and they have been abused.
Yeah, so if we're talking about illegal immigration, ICE is doing its best job to deport those that are illegal, but of course, like in every process, there's gonna be collateral victims, there's gonna be people that are innocent and arrested, but we're working so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but
Now,
I also believe that your agents are like pretty incompetent because they do not have some like special preparation for doing all of this work. They have just been recruited randomly and they just abuse because they have some traumas in their lives, and this is the way to like externalize their problems. So let's analyze the other conflicts on the planet right now because the United States has been involved in like every single conflict since World War II, directly or indirectly. They have been supporting different rebel groups, supporting armies that were trying to overthrow countries in order to secure resources for themselves. Because in like 2003, the United States illegally invaded Iraq under the pretext that they have weapons of mass destruction, aka nukes. But this has been debunked, and this just has been like an alibi for the Bush administration to invade a foreign country in the Middle East with lots of oil.
uh, so if we're talking about American intervention around the world, we should also be talking about Iran intervention. You know, Iran has been supporting these many terrorist groups around the world, such as ISIS, Al Qaeda, Hamas, and even the rebels in Africa and Yemen. So, as you can see, the United States can't just stay and do nothing. They also funds terrorists. Wait, immediate second.
Did was it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that the United States itself even funded Al Qaeda when this group was fighting the Soviet
Yes,
Union in
but
Afghanistan?
but this group wasn't Al Qaeda yet, and they weren't committing terrorist crimes yet.
Yeah, but the base was still there.
Now, of course, one of the worst consequences of this war would be that the oil prices will go up because of the Persian Gulf that is now closed, and also the airspace around Iran is closed. So this will have many economical downsides on the international scale, but also we think that this invasion is justified because we can bring liberty to the Iranian people and also seize all their oil.
Well, we closed all the straits that are connected globally with every major country in order to defend ourselves. As even neutral ships from all over the world are still attacked by the US Navy and being harassed, many crew members just die or go missing. And we are trying to defend our own interests and our own resources because we know the US's real objective in the Middle East, especially in Iran, in our country, and we are just trying to protect what's ours. Well, you're saying that you're contesting that Islam is the religion of peace and all of this, but your own president has been found in Epstein files.
So about the comment about the Epstein files, honestly, if I had the opportunity to go to the Epstein Island, I would definitely have taken it. Like, who wouldn't, right?
I wouldn't.
Of course you wouldn't. You would be a victim if you were there. Think about it. But if we're talking about some of the allegedly U.S. Violations of human rights, I want to tell you that Iran has more violations of human rights, and the United States is a much safer country than Iran and much more developed. Also, if we're talking militarily, if we make a comparison, Iran has basically no chance against the US. Like their air defense system is basically none, while the US has the most advanced military in the world. So we're definitely not seeing an Iran win in this war, and we can safely say that US domination will be totally.
Well, of course, your military is much more complex and developed, but we developed like ballistic missiles, different defense systems, and we are going to go into a war of attrition. We are going to use all of our resources, but never give up. So reached and stalemate. We can discuss the terms tomorrow again and analyze the causes, the effects, and just go over it again and again until we solve this conflict.
Yeah, of course. Sure. By the way, did I mention that I know your location right now?
Wait, I'm hearing something right now, like something like a rocket.